No one's here? I've never seen this cathedral empty. You are... Wait, you're the sister who worked in the chapel and leaves. Sister Rosine? I had heard rumors. Never thought you would be the one guys and Emma were talking about. I had a feeling you would show up. But the actual person is someone else, right? It's been a long time since I saw you. Please enter the sanctuary. They are waiting for you. Hello. I've been waiting. After hearing of this case, I've transferred here from the Holy City. The Archbishop and I removed the rest of the guests from the cathedral. You are... I see, so that's what happened. What? The previous floor's professor? Thomas, right? Just in case, please keep an eye on the entrance. Master, you mean... Yes, he fooled all of us. Allow me to make introductions. This is Sir Thomas Lysander, Deputy Head of the Septian Church Order of Chivalry. He is also known as the Practitioner, the Second Dominion. The Gralsritter? An order of Knights of the Church. I've heard of them. I heard that the former terrorist S was from that group. Wait a minute. Or are you the one introducing him, Gaius? No way. Are you with them too? Perhaps I shall be the one to introduce this time. He is also one of the 12 Dominion of the Gralsritter. The 8th Dominion, Sir Gaius Warzel. What the f... Seriously? Why? So the reason we couldn't get in touch with you for half a year. A lot happened. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord, and for a while I kept an eye on the situation between the Empire and the Republic. But amid that, when I felt the wind rushing over the plateau, something dark was mixed in it. When I was expressing my concern over that about that to my father and the leader of the tribe, a priest, Barkhorn, came to visit. I learned later that he was actually the 8th Dominion of the Gralsritter, known as the Roaring Lion. He was a wandering priest who tested us during the time of the Civil War. He had been investigating a salt pile incident in Northumbria 27 years ago, and he has also taught General Wallace as one of his disciples. It seems he was interested in me and came all the way to Nord to meet me. According to him, he felt an approaching wind of destruction and closing on the world a bad feeling. I don't know if it was because he saw the blood of the ones who fought with it. I don't know if it was because he saw the blood of the ones who fought with the Lionheart Emperor. But once he learned of us, he seemed satisfied. Then, an incident occurred. A Republic ship broke through the defense line of the 7th Armored Division and hit the settlement. But my father was absent. So to protect my family, I took up my spear, but I was no match. And when I resigned myself to my death, a large person stood in front of me. And so I received stigmata from the dying priest. I received the history of the nearly 1,000 years of the Dominion Knights and became one of them. The Roaring Lion. I've heard that name a lot. He prevented a lot of disaster on North Ambria's frontier. Yes, he was one of the veteran Dominion members. Wait, where was I? So it was under those circumstances that Sir Gaius received stigmata. I reported as such to Alteria. He then had to train for 6 months as a knight of the church. I see, so that's what happened. Why didn't you tell us this sooner? Maybe you could have helped you out somehow. I'm sorry, everything happened quickly. I tried my best to finish my training quickly to become a Dominion. Finally, I was able to get in touch with Eustace last month. The power I inherited from my teacher. I plan to use it as part of Class 7 to save my second homeland, the Empire. Yeah, the coats are pretty dead giveaway. Yeah, I do have to admit, I should have seen it coming. I didn't really pay attention to Zephyr that much. Thanks, guys. I'll ask you again to lend us your strength. Yes, it is yours. Somehow, these senpai get more and more awesome. The pressure builds up on us. Now, I really feel the difference in our experience. They're becoming quite the famous lineup. I still have a lot of training to do myself. I'm still chasing after the back of my predecessor. Now, Grandma, stop hiding and get out here. You're the one who called us. Oh, does he? Interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at that sometime. The one Emma calls Grandma. The leader of the witches, Roselia. I see. Is this so that we can inform you of the pact between the witches and the church? So that's what's going on. But I thought the witches were in confrontation with the church. But I thought the witches are... It's not that we don't believe in the goddess. There was just a difference in stance, but we've overcome that to ally before. For example, during the War of the Lions 250 years ago, the case of the vampires 200 years ago. Along with the case that almost repeated the other day from 800 years ago. Well, all of that was Rose crashing the party. So, all of that was your doing? According to legend, there was a good witch with Emperor Dracos, along with a saint. And in the book Rose of the Red Moon, a sister of the church was portrayed as the true ancestors of the vampires. That is all her. Well, she looks a bit different now. How the heck old are you, Roselia? Oh, about 800 years or so? But I'm the only special one. The other witches are normal humans. Apart from the descendants of the Blaze. The Blaze? Another of the things that caused the floating city in Liberl, or the Azure Tree in Crossbell. One of the Septarian bestowed on humanity by Eidos herself. They were all said to be lost after the collapse 1200 years ago, and the society continues to pursue them. So, this is the real topic now. Now then, where to begin? I know the rest from here, Grandma. Please directly get to the point. Please do. I don't know the cause myself. Very well. Then perhaps I can take over from here, Roselia. Yes, that would be great. You seem to have noticed already. In the Empire today, there is both a surface world and an underworld. The turbulent politics, the signs of war, these are all directly caused by the changes in the Septium veins. This is also causing legendary beasts to manifest again as cryptids. I thought so. And with the expansion of the Empire, these occurrences expand as well. So why specifically do the Paloma flowers and the Magic Knights appear? Well, originally the Paloma flowers appeared as a spiritual manifestation of the Septarian of Zero, grasped from a higher dimension. Originally, it was azure in color and faded away when the Crossbell incident ended. After Crossbell was annexed into the Empire, they started to bloom again, but crimson this time. I'm getting shivers down my spine just hearing about it. That color, just like the Infernal Castle then. Of course, they were related. By the way, the Magic Knights are reincarnations of the golems from the Dark Ages. They were built by the magicians of the Empire of the time to combat the Divine Knights. During the Civil War, due to the influence of the spiritual power, they were revived. And by the Spirit Path, they began appearing in Crossbell as well. So that's what happened. It does seem consistent when you consider the appearance of the cryptids in the Empire. And what about the society? The Phantasmal Blaze plan, they seek to evoke the Demiurgus from Crossbell and the Blaze from the Empire. That appears to be the plan, at least. So that's what it is? So that's their goal. Where did you hear that? I heard it straight from Chancellor Osborne yesterday. He did dodge my questions about other important aspects, but I got some concerning information. Is that right? I heard that you had talked to him, but it seems society cooperated with Crossbell 2 years ago to bring change to the Empire, including an attempt to recreate the Septarian of Mirage by hand. And although it ended up being more powerful than the original, the society did not show much interest. Most likely, their aim is both of the original Septarian. The ones that both originally existed in the Empire, Fire and Earth. Fire and Earth. So along with space from Liberl and Mirage from Crossbell, that just leaves two. Wait a minute. If the witches are the descendants of the people who possessed the Septarians of Fire, then I see, then the Black Workshop, the gnomes are the same. Descendants of the holders of the Septarian of Earth. It's as if we were our natural adversaries. Along with the Auschlis family of Liberl and the Croix family of Crossbell. By the way, a sacred beast was sent to protect each of the Septarian. For Liberl it was the dragon. Crossbell was the Great Wolf, and Erebonia has two sacred beasts as well, but they both disappeared 1200 years ago along with the Septarian. So this is the crux. The two Septarian, the people who inherited them, and the two sacred beasts. Both the treasures and the sacred beasts and the people changed names. What in the world happened 1200 years ago in Erebonia? Allow me to explain the truth of 1200 years ago then. From here on, the story is just speculation. Even so, please listen. Story time, story time!
はじめに2つの司法があった。
At the beginning, there were two septarian.
高き力を秘めし、炎の司法。
One had the fierce power and treasure of flame, the septarian of fire, Arc Rogue, Arc Rouge.
強き力を秘めし、大地の司法。
The other held the power of earth, the septarian of earth, Lost Zem.
共に巨大な守護神の形をとり。
Together, they take the form of a large guardian who brought miracles and joy to men.
数百年の間、エレボニアの地において
For several hundred years, the people of Erebonia lived in prosperity.
ある時期から授かった
But
人間同士が
after a time, the humans began competing with each other.
二つの司法は人の望みを聞き届けてついに直接ぶつかり合うこととなった。
The two septarian followed the demands of the people and clashed.
もたらされたのは大災悪。
What resulted was a great calamity.
天が引き裂かれるほどの天変
The
地異
earth
だった
trembled
そう
and was torn apart with a heavenly force.
人間たちが後悔してももはや止まらず千日に及ぶ戦いは
Despite the regret and pleas of the people, the disaster would not stop.
最後に司法同士の争いは終焉
A
に
thousand-day
向か
battle
った
scorched the entire land. Finally, the battle between the septarian came to an end.
ただし相打ちという形で
But it was in the form of a draw.
力尽きた司法の抜け殻はそれぞれ遠くへ飛ば
The
され
exhausted septarian fled into the
暗
dark
黒の大
ground.
地にようやく静寂と光が戻ったの
And
じゃ
finally, silence and light returned to the land.
じゃが話はそれで
But
終わりでは
that
な
was
か
not
っ
the
た
end of the story.
2つの司法の力が最後の激突で融合。
The power of the two fused together at the end.
全く新たな存在がこの世に生まれてしまったのです。
And a brand new existence was birthed into the world.
それこそが大いなる一と呼ばれ
And it
る
was the steel
鋼。
called the Great One.
炎と大地が連成されることで誕生してしまった。
It was a transcendental existence born from the fusion of earth and fire.
すぐに暴走はしなかったものの、内部で無限の自己総国を永劫に繰り返す。
Though it did not happen right away, it eventually became a source of infinite energy, fueling a perpetual rivalry. Finally, it went unstable as a source of all power.
生き延びた人々は悟ったそうです。これは人の手に負えるものではないと。
Those who survived realized this was not something mankind should possess.
それぞれの聖獣の力も借り炎と大地の眷属たちは
Barring
協
the power
力
of the
して
sacred beast, the descendants of the flame and the earth bonded together and decided to seal the Great One.
しかし試みはことごとく失敗し最後に試されたのがある方法じゃった
But they tried and failed many times, and only one way remained to try.
上位次元において大いなる一としての本質を保ったまま
The only way they
現実
realized
世界では
to
複数
seal the
の
Great One
個と
was
し
to
て存
preserve
在する
its existence but divide it into pieces, distributed around the world.
そんな仕組みで最悪を御そうとしたのじゃ
By doing so, they averted a disaster.
結論から言うと、試みは成功し、
In conclusion, they succeeded.
大地の眷属が7つの器を用意し、炎の眷属が力を分割して宿すことで、
Those of the Earth Clan created 7 vessels, and those of the Fire Clan divided it into 7 pieces and created.
すなわち7体の騎士人形デウス・エクセリオンを
What we today call the Divine Knights, the De Exarian. What to say? It's a story beyond belief. I heard it was fragmented, but to think that something like that happened 1200 years ago feels like a fairy tale. In any case, it seems like this did really happen. So what happened after that? How did Valimar and the other divine knights get here? Well, up to this point in the story was recorded in the legends. The descendants of Blaze became known as witches. The descendants of Earth became known as gnomes. They divided the Great One into 7 and cooperated to manage it and rebuild after the collapse. By the way, most members of both sides have abandoned their role. But this fusion gave birth to the foundation of Erebonia. It was said that the Septian Church began its mission in the Empire around this time as well. And then 300 years later, in the land that would be called Heimdall, the Arner family established a modest city. Then the disaster of the Dark Dragon occurred in the capital.
900年前の帝都ヘイムダル。
900 years ago in the capital Heimdall.
当時わずか5万人の小都市でしたが、文明復興の重要な拠点の一つでした。
At the time, there were only 50,000 residents, but it was still one of the important bases of civilization and restoration.
必要教会の聖堂も築かれ、さらなる発展を遂げようとしたその時。
It was at the time that the Septian Church built this cathedral.
突如として暗黒竜が出現することで、帝都は正気に包まれ、
The Dark Dragon appeared in the capital and the city was enveloped. It became a city of the dead.
時の皇帝アストリウスは民を率いて南に落ち延
The
び、
emperor of the time, Astrius, led the people far to the south and built a temporary capital known as Saint Ark.
その最悪による混乱の中、脱出を助けるため魔女と知性たちは互いに深刻な痛手を受け
In
た。
order to help people escape, the gnomes and the witches entered the disarray caused by the dragon and sustained heavy casualties.
魔女は先代の長が命を落とし、知性は
The witches lost their leader from their previous generation, and the gnomes lost track of their divine beast.
こうして両者の交流は完全に断たれ、
Thus, the exchange between the two was completely cut off, and they had no contact for 100 years.
赤の鬼神を起動したヘクトル帝が
That was when Emperor Hector activated the Crimson Knight and sealed the Dark Dragon, thus reclaiming the Empire.
促したのは知性の長で、導いたのは新たな
The
魔
ones
女
behind it
の
were the
長。
leader of the gnomes and the new leader of the witches,
わらわであった。
namely me.
しかし暗黒竜の正気で皇帝は命を落とし、
However, the Emperor finally
赤は
lost his
呪
life,
われた鬼神となり、
and the Crimson became a cursed divine knight.
世継ぎの王子の立ち会いのもと、最後にわらわと知性の長に
Finally,
よって
under the supervision of the Imperial
王子
Army,
を地下に封印され
Imperial
ることにな
family,
った。
myself and the head of the gnomes, it was decided that it would be sealed in the basement of the Emperor.
しかし
But
それが最後じゃった。
that was the end.
いかなる理由か、知性たちは我らに決別を宣言して完全に姿を消してしまう。
For 800 years, whenever a war... Wait. For some reason, the gnomes separated from the witches with a formal farewell and completely disappeared.
それから800年か。
For 800
帝
years,
国で戦が起きるたびに鬼神は姿を現し、
whenever a war would break out with the Empire, a divine knight would appear,
姿を消していった。
exercise its oh my god, I can't speak, transcendental power, and then disappear again.
知性たちの関与は間違いなかったが、我らに阻止する術はなく、起動者を正しく導くという対処に徹
The
するしか
gnomes did
な
not
かった。
assist us, they also did not interfere, and all we could do was lead the Awakeners.
それが極まったのは250年前の獅子戦
That
役。
came to a head 250 years ago in the War of the Lions.
義弟オルトロスが蘇らせた赤にルキウス王子の傭兵が起動した紫。
The false Prince Orthus invoked the Crimson, and Imperial Prince Lucius activated the Purple.
そしてドライギルス王子の灰
And then Prince
聖女
Dracos
リアン
used
ヌ
the
が隠し
Ashen,
持っていた銀
and Saint Leanne was the Silver.
4体の鬼神が出現した大戦だったのじゃ
It was a large battle between 4 divine knights. So that's the connection. Well, I have a ton of questions, but that's a good start. So then, you were there during the War of the Lions? A good witch, this is really becoming a fairy tale. Well, at the prince's request, I stayed in the Dracos camp. By the way, I wasn't too bad looking around that time. So many awful paintings of me are full of lies. Well, like I said before, the leader of the witches is not an ordinary person, and for some reason you became immortal and kept watching over the tribe forever. Yes, but remember, I was only born 800 years ago. I have no memory from before my predecessor disappeared. Of course, there are things I do not know. But one thing you do know about Saint Leanne, the rider of the Silver Knight, and whether the Steel Maiden of today is really her. Alright, we should be able to get some answers on that. She confessed it herself. She had a chance encounter with the Wandering Prince. Together they challenged the Demon King, and she lost her life protecting him. Before that, she was a prodigy who helped him activate Silver. But in the end, Leanne sealed that power because it grew too large. During the battle with the Demon King, she had to release that seal, but in the process, she sustained a fatal wound and lost her life. I have also seen with my own eyes that she was revived 6 months later, as the head of the Stallrider, the group of Arseid Knights. I see. Were you the one who revived them, Grandma? Oh, I was wondering about that as well. When Leanne lost her life, her body was in a strange condition, without signs of corruption, and so her body was taken to our village and she awoke 6 months later. She somehow became immortal, though I have no idea about the cause. Leanne realized this herself, and without her love, the Emperor Dracos, she went on a trip around the Empire, leaving Legram to her vice chief, her right arm. I met her from time to time over the years, but we lost touch completely 20 years ago. That was when she encountered the leader of the snake. I appreciate you telling me all of this. It appears this is a situation we cannot ignore. We have seen some unbelievable sights these past months. So then, are the Jaeger King and Crow the same? As I said before, I do not know the cause. I thought perhaps the key was to the Divine Knights, concerning the Azure, but the Jaeger King had no connection to them when he was alive. And even though Dracos was an Awakener, he did not become immortal. Good point. So then, this doesn't mean that you'll become an immortal instructor? Yes, he's gotten taller after graduating after all. Yeah, I may have a strange power, but I'm definitely aging. I wonder what the reason is. There are only 2 people who know the truth. The Prime Minister Gileath Osborne, and the leader of the Gnomes, Black Alberic. The leader of the Black Workshop? Well, like me, he seems to be immortal and yet not immortal. He seems to be a man who inherited his mission as the Master. His greatest wish is to lead the world to the Great Twilight. Great Twilight? This is the first I'm hearing of it, but could it be? The fairy tale of the end that Sister mentioned in Crossbow. 800 years ago, the leader of the Gnomes spoke to me and the Prince. This involves not just the Empire, but the entire world. He called it a premonition of the end. Wait a sec, does that mean... It seems similar to the path the Empire is going down. Please allow me to supplement from my side. Originally, Sir Barkhorn and I entered the Empire because we sensed a strange abnormality. We noticed the spiritual veins across the continent building up little by little to a point where we couldn't ignore it. It was like a thin, flowing wave. The incidents in Labril and Crossbell, and finally the Civil War, all increased the activity. And the distortion grew higher still after the annexation of Crossbell and Northumbria. And finally, a huge abnormality occurred in Crossbell, including phantom beasts and magic spirits all from the Empire. Afterwards, the plume of flowers that were blooming in Crossbell began blooming in the Empire. We wondered if these were the signs of the Great Twilight. We figured these were omens no matter how you look at it. So, who is this Alberic guy? He uses the masked man as his agent. The Jaeger King should be dead, and he seems to have hired him. By the way, are there others in the clan known as gnomes? Yes, aside from your friends, the rabbits. The mask appears to be his long right arm, even though I have not been able to follow much of what they were doing, but they seem to be exponentially skilled craftsmen. Oh, and in a different way than Schmidt, I might say? I've been interested in him for a while, but he seems to be some kind of evolving genius. Capable craftsman. So that means you can start to imagine anything. In any case, we are certain that he is connected to the Prime Minister. Considering the children, they seem to have quite the unique connections between them. And based on the incident last night, it seems likely they will start to take an active role. Huh? Why do you think that? I was finally able to decipher a new Black Records chapter last night. Oh, the Black Records books are kind of an artifact that have been found all over the Empire. Actually, Reed and I have exchanged information about them in the past. Is that right? When did you... It was right after you all graduated, we had a talk. So, you said you could decipher it, you can reveal it now then? Instructor, no, should I say manager, Thomas. Knowing Reed's sense of duty, you must have been using him. You don't trust me at all, do you? Though, I won't deny it. In any case, this passage was written in the newly deciphered Black Records book. At the hour the sacrifice spills the blood of the old, the path to the Black Star is opened. The sacred beast pierced with a sword, at the moment its blood fills the Star Cup. The Great Twilight begins. So that means this is all too timely then. It's like it's describing what's going on now. And so then the blood of the old means the Emperor. And then the sacrifice is ash? So what are the sword and the cup? I can only think it refers to the cup of the Septian Church. Right. And then the sacred beasts... Could it mean? Yes. Gaius already mentioned this, but... Once in the basement of this cathedral was a holy space. It was a facility built as a beginning place after the collapse. But 900 years ago, it disappeared from the basement entirely. Disappeared? I've heard about facilities in Liberl as well. Yes, the same exists in the cathedral in Gransel. When the capital was retaken, the entire space was completely swallowed by bedrock. Well, what if it did not disappear but merely shifted to another space? Then it still exists somewhere? We believe it most likely contains the sacred beast of the earth, the gift from the goddess that disappeared 900 years ago. It concluded the other day that the dragon we fought was part of its family. Wait a minute. So that dark dragon itself is a sacred beast? Well, it is certainly a mighty beast itself, but no, as the witches and gnomes were able to cross swords with it. No, that sacred beast is still out there, and it somehow gave birth to the dark dragon. Perhaps it is lurking in the sacred place of beginnings. So then everything is being arranged according to that prophecy. You have to be kidding. By the way, the only sword said to be able to penetrate the holy beast is the Sword of Demise. According to the Black Records, it is the sword at the root of the emptiness. Most likely, it's a special sword made by the Black Workshop. Why though? At the very least, it's not like the special weapons the Jaegers use. So then it's a weapon made from Zamorian ore as well? It's true, that seems the most likely.
Muse? ほう、何か気づいたのね。
今は少しでも手がかり
We
が欲し
really
い
would
状
like
況
any
です。
clues you have.
何でもいい。
Anything is fine. Please just let us hear it.
そうですね。
I suppose so.
根源たる虚無、オリジネーターゼロ、
The root of emptiness, originator zero.
すなわち OZ なのでは。
That can be abbreviated as Oz.
黒の工房がミリアムや
The name the Black Workshop gave to Milliam and Altina.
形式番号か。
The model number.
OZ。
何ですかそれ。やっとたどり着いたわね。
You finally got there.
この声。姉さん。ようやく現れたか。宝刀娘が。
ミスティ、クロチルダさんか。
独自に動
I
いてい
did
るの
hear
は
she
聞い
was
ていた
acting
わ。
alone, but
久しぶりね、ババ様。エマにセリーヌ、7組のみんなの。それとライサンダー
and Sir Lysander, thank you for serving as intermediary.
いやー、家族がすれ違ったままなのも悲しいですからね。
Not at all. It would be sad for family members to miss meeting each other.
姉さん、どうして。やっぱり戻ってくるつ
You
もり
don't
じゃな
intend
い
to
の
come
よ
back
ね。
to us, right?
ええ、前にも言ったように、
Yes. Like I said before, my loyalties lie with the Grandmaster.
その意味では、あなたやババ様みたいに魔女としてのみは振る舞えない。
In that sense, I cannot just behave as a witch, like you or the old lady.
鋼の聖女。あの人の
Just the
そうであ
same
る
as a
よ
steel
ね。
maiden.
だから何なのよ。
Who in the world is that
その名手って
Grandmaster?
のは。ふん。どんな人物かは知らぬが、大した入れ込みようじゃな。
I don't know what kind of person they are, but they must be quite something.
ならばビータ、主がこの場に現れた
Very well then,
理由。
Vita. The reason you appeared here today.
ようやく結社がどう動くか決まった。
Does that mean the
という
society has
ところか。
finally decided how it will move?
ええ、新規を使った3つの実験結果を受けて。
Yes, based on the 3 experiments carried out but with the Divine Knights.
私以外の使徒6名が全員一致で決定したそうよ。
The other 6 anguish besides myself have reached a unanimous decision.
私が戒めてきた禁忌を破り、
Precisely the taboo that I warned them against myself.
宰相と知性の大いなる黄昏に協力して終焉の中で減塩計画を完遂することを。
To work with the Prime Minister and the gnomes to complete the Phantasmal Blaze plan and bring about the Great Twilight.
それってそういうことか。先月から結社が姿を消したのは帝国から撤退したからじゃなかった。
The reason the society hasn't been seen in the Empire since last month, it's not because they pulled out of the Empire.
自分たちの計画を何としても
It was
進
in
める
order
た
to
めに
advance their plan at any cost.
敵対者と
And they
裏切り者に
formulated a
共
plan
存す
to
ることを
circumvent any
検討していた
that
わ
would
け
get
です。
in their way.
バカな。もしそうだとするなら、
In that case,
全てが敵に回った。
everything is because of the enemy?
これは
大聖堂の鐘では
This is
あり
not
ま
the
せん
bell
ね
of the cathedral.
あれ、これって
Is this
クロスベルの鐘。
Ospel's bell?
そうなのか。
Is it?
はい。独立国の時にも異変が起きる前に聞こ
I
えた。
remember hearing this exact sound during the time of the Independence Declaration.
博物館に
The
置か
one
れ
that
て
was
た。
carried out of the museum.
星見の塔の大金。
The bell from the Stargaze Tower?
博物館の
And it's
方
not
角では
coming
な
from
い
the
ぞ。
museum.
減塩計画とはよく言ったものね。
The Phantasmal Blaze plan is something else.
どこまであの方はこれを予見していたのかしら。
How much of this did that person predict?
ねえ、何を浸っておる。知
Stop.
っているのならとっとと見せい。
Stop being so vague. If you know something, say it.
グリアノス抜きだと厳しいからババ様も手伝ってちょうだい。
It's difficult without Grianos, so help me out, old lady.
エマ、セリーヌもね。はい。こき使ってくれるわね。
Is that the villa?
Well
then, let us celebrate the restarting of the Phantasmal Blaze Clan and the dawn of the Great Twilight. Number 0, the Fool, will get it started. Oh. That's impressive. The beginning of the end, huh? Black Star, just like in the history book. A funeral brought about by the great power. Never thought it would come to this. Well then, let us begin. Please lead us, Master of the Workshop of the Gnomes. Black Alberic. Wait a second. Understood, Great Master. Holy shit! Oh my god. Yo, it's about to be lit. That was... That was Al, right?
どうした？
団長ゼノに
The Jaeger King, Zeno, and Leo too.
青のジークフリード。
太ったコートの人ってやっぱり
And that heavier one in the coat. It's really
火炎魔神に道化師。
the clown, the almighty conflagration,
あれが聖女か。
and that was the saint.
どうして今朝話したば
I
かり
just talked to her this morning,
それに
but
それにそんなのあるわけない
there's no way.
アリサ。
ルーグマンとか言ったっけ髪の色は違うけど
His name was Lumen, right? His hair is a different color though.
フランツ・ルーグマン
Franz Lumen,
G シュミットの一番弟子にして RF グループ
the first and best student of
現
G.
会長の亡き
Schmidt. The deceased husband of the current head of the RF group.
夫フランツ・ラインフォルトの旧姓ね
Originally Franz Reinford.
なるほど20年前から動き始めていた
I see, so this has been in motion for the past 20 years.
ええ。おそらくは宰相と協力し、この状況を作り出すために。
Most likely his first cooperation with the Prime Minister was for this result.
アリサさんほうけている暇はないわ。黄昏がどんなものだろうと遊撃士として放置はできな
Whatever
い。
this Twilight deal is, as a bracer, I can't leave this alone.
君たちはどうなの？
How about all of you?
ああ。こんなとこ
You
ろ
can't just sit around here idly.
まさにここで動くため
Class
に
7 was gathered here, as almost as if we were meant to move together.
そうだね
アリサ。行こう。
ビータ主はどうするつもりじゃ意種返しという意味で付き合い
Well,
たいのは
I wouldn't
山
mind
々だけ
accompanying you
ど
for revenge,
多分簡単にはいかないでしょう
but I
ね
don't think it will go that easily.
なんじゃと
この気配は
This presence,
霊力の乱れ。
disturbance in spiritual force.
これってまさか
Uh-oh.
副長ガイウスさん厳重山公兵が
Cryptids and magic nets have appeared! Oh. Saving.